This is the Mitsubishi EK Cross EV, the very latest little electric vehicle from Mitsubishi. And I'm going to brave the roads of Tokyo to find out if this car has the potential to do perhaps a little bit better in Australia than the i-Miev. On the outside, Mitsubishi says its EK Cross has the look of an EV combined with the aesthetic of an SUV. Perhaps one that's had its flanks lightly squeezed and its wheels shrunken down to just 15 inches. Its slab-fronted design makes it pedestrian-friendly, but perhaps not such a friend of drag and aerodynamics, while wheels pushed out into each corner create the classic K-car look and maximise interior space. Inside, there's a 7-inch digital display for the driver, complemented by a 9-inch central display and electric gear selector and park brake. Both G and P-spec variants get front and rear parking sensors, lane departure warning, AEB, heated seats and keyless ignition and entry, while only the higher spec P-grade gets the biggest screen and smartphone mirroring. In 2009, Mitsubishi introduced a pioneering and very interesting little car to the Australian market. It was also the first EV to be offered in Australia from a mainstream manufacturer. It was, of course, the Mitsubishi i-Miev. Now, after some initial interest, for obvious reasons, it didn't really go on to be the sales success that Mitsubishi might have been hoping for. But nearly 15 years later, is it time for Mitsubishi to have another crack at the EV market in Australia? So if we're trying to decide if this car could have any potential in Australia, let's look at some of the reasons people don't buy electric vehicles. First of all, they're still rather expensive, but if this car went on sale in Australia for the equivalent of what it goes for in Japan, it would start at about $27,000. Now that is a cheap EV. Go for the top spec version and it'll be about $33,000. So even in top trim, it's still cheaper than the cheapest at the moment. Space, that could be a big concern as well. Obviously in Australia we like big cars, and this one is not. On the outside it measures just 3.4 meters long and 1.5 meters wide, but it's 1.7 meters tall. So its proportions are really rather weird, but that means inside there is heaps of space. Now to demonstrate this, I've picked up 3 complete strangers from the side of the road, and I've filled this car with 4 adults, well, 3 plus me, somewhere in the middle. And I have to say, there is tons of space. Really skinny door cards mean there's lots of elbow and shoulder room. There is an absolute mountain of headroom, and my rear passengers tell me that with my seating position for a 6'2" driver, there is ample legroom back there as well. Even better, behind them, there's actually a respectable boot as well. So this little car ticks the box on space as well. The one it probably doesn't, though, is safety. It's a K car, which means it is ultra small, ultra light, and honestly, if this was tested by ANCAP, I can't see it getting much more than 3 stars, so that's probably a bit of a black flag as well. What you do get, though, is a 20 kilowatt hour battery, so essentially the same that you get in the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. But in that car, that'll only give you about 40 kilometers. This car, because it weighs just over a ton, 1,080 kilos, will give you 180 kilometers of range, which, to be honest, is enough for most people. Performance, not really. Just under 50 kilowatts, but a respectable 195 Newton meters. And that's where this car is all about, is torque. Lots of lovely electric torque. It's not going to win any races, but it's perfectly adequate for a little city car. So really, in terms of a useful review for you, I'm probably not going to be much value. I'm here to ask the question whether this car could have the potential to make better sales than its predecessor, the i-Miev of nearly 15 years ago. Size and safety are probably what's going to put people off this car, but if you look at the way that the transport system is going in Australia, a lot of people downsizing, a lot of car sharing happening, emissions restrictions. It's probably not going to work just now, but in another 15 years, who knows?
There's no doubt a sub $30,000 electric car will appeal to Australians looking to make the switch to emissions-free motoring, and the EK Cross's range will certainly cater for many city dwellers. However, safety reigns supreme in Australia's tricky market, and the unavoidable K-car compromises may make the EK's business case a little hard to stack up down under.